Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne Sharp World, where it is new knife day in the Sharp World of Wayne, and I am very excited about this knife in here. And this is a knife that, it's not a brand new model, it's a new version, but it's one that I've had to get my hands on for a couple of reasons. There were some things I really wanted to check out about this knife. Finally got it in and pulled off the shipping information and whatnot, but have not unboxed this yet. I thought I'd do it with you guys and give you my overall thoughts, because this is one that I'm not going to regret the purchase either way, even if I'm not superly thrilled over the moon about it, because I have a plan for this knife. This is a little bit more of a project knife, I think. We'll see though. Maybe I'll like it as is, but I kind of have some speculation for a couple reasons, but we'll see. Let's get into it. But before we do that, I just want to thank you guys for tuning in today. If you like what you see, please do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, follow along, and I will continue to bring you the content. And let's get into that content right here and take a look at what we have in this box. And it's covered up by peanuts. So what do we have here? What do we have? We have a Hogue. Let's just do this. There we go. Whoa, don't want that in there. Let's get rid of that. And let's take a look at what we got in here. We have a Hogue, and we have all these packing peanuts. Actually, let's be a little more organized about this, because this room is already not exactly clean, so I don't want to contribute to any more messiness to this room. So we'll get these out of the way. There we go. Okay, now let's take a look at what we got here. I think a lot of you can probably guess what is in this box, and it is the new Hogue Deca. It is, but it's a version I've never handled before in terms of blade shape, and I've been very, very interested in getting one in hand. But not only is this a Deca, this is the Wharncliffe version of the Hogue Deca, and this is also the CPM MagnaCut Hogue Deca. So I've really been on the MagnaCut kick this year. I think everybody has. I don't think it's a surprise to anyone. We're always wanting to get the best steel out there. We always want to try the new things. And the MagnaCut, from what I've been hearing, is supposed to have edge retention that lasts for days and days and days, for a lot longer than a lot of other steels out there. Also supposed to be extremely tough, but I've kind of heard some conflicting interests on that. I know a lot of it comes down to the heat treat. It sounds like 62 to 64 is the heat treat that it should be at, but it may not be getting that from everybody. I don't know all the science behind that, so I wouldn't want to speak too much on that. But and I don't know what this is heat treated at. But what I can tell you right now, my initial impressions. Obviously, I'm not going to have any initial impressions of the steel yet because I haven't quite used it. But in terms of action, I'm happy with it. But let's get into what I was more concerned about, and that's these handles. Now, these are polymer handles, and now I have said in the past, I have been a fan of the polymer handle on Hogue's K320 Nitron, because there was just a lot of support within the handle. Even though it's polymer, they had some nice liners in there that added a lot of beefiness to the handle itself, and you don't have that here. As we look inside, this is the re-engineered Hogue Deca, which, if you guys have seen my re-engineered, my full review of the re-engineered Hogue Deca 2.0 or whatever they call it, they made changes to the insides of the Deca before they actually came out with the MagnaCut version Deca with the polymer handles. And one of the things they did was they drastically reduced the amount of inset liner that was inside the knife. They basically cut it down to where it's just enough to work with their Able lock system, which is a very nice crossbar style lock. I've said in the past, I am a big fan of the Able lock. It's one of my favorite crossbar style locks out there, and this knife definitely lives up to that statement. It's still very nice, very smooth right out of the box, so no issue in terms of action. The action's very nice. But the solidity of the handle, let's see, because as you can see, these are very hollow polymer handles. They're manufactured a very different way than G10, and as you can see, there's a lot of hollowness on the insides of these. So what do we get in terms of stability? Very flexible handles. Very flexible handles. I'm not a big fan of that. But I will say I do like the back spacers running along the back. These 3 back spacers add great strength to the back to where, I mean, obviously that's solid. You're not going to really flex that much. So no real concern there. The feel in hand, though, is definitely different. And in all honesty, what I would compare it to is your standard, typical run-of-the-mill bug out. Not quite with the Grivory scales bug out. Not quite that amount of flex. There's definitely a little less flex in here than the Benchmade bug out with the Grivory scales. Those were like ultimate flex, like more than I think anybody wants. And to be honest, this is more than I want. So I can't say I love the polymer scales on the Deka here, but like I said earlier, this is more of a project knife for me because a while back on my Instagram, if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, give me a follow on Instagram. But I stated, why isn't anybody making aftermarket scales for the Deka? I don't get it. I completely understand the bug out has Grivory scales that people don't like, so why not? But now with these polymer scales on the Deka that I don't love, I gotta say I don't hate them though. The actual feel in hand is decent. It's definitely better than the bug out, but at the same time, I feel that flex when I grip down on the knife. I feel the flex of the handles in hand, and I don't like that. I just don't. There's no way I can sugarcoat it. I want solid handles on my knives. Now, with that being said, it's kind of ironic that they pair one of the nicest, toughest steels out there with some, less than toughest handles, I guess is the best way to put it. I don't know. I don't know what their thinking was there. And I will say this knife is coming in at like $125, which is a stupid good deal for MagnaCut. You're not going to see MagnaCut anywhere else in the universe of $125 price range. So for what you're paying for the knife, it's still hard to knock it. And I don't think this is just going to fall apart. Keep in mind, guys, this is the same polymer, probably very close to the same polymer that is used on other products that Hogue makes, which are, grips of other nature that are extremely durable. They put on extremely valuable things. So I avoid using that terminology because I don't just don't want to get into the weeds of the other products and how YouTube used that. But regardless, I have mixed emotions about this knife. I love the Deka in general. The Deka in general is one of my all-time favorite knives and one of my most recommended models from any manufacturer out there. And I think I would still recommend this in faith that I know that the warranty that Hogue backs their products with is absolutely fantastic. And like I said, I think this is a project knife for me. I'm going to be replacing these handles with some aftermarket handles that I'm sure at this point, now that Hogue is making the Deka in polymer handles, I'm sure there's going to be someone out there, hopefully more than one, making aftermarket scales for the Deka. And I will 100% be purchasing aftermarket scales to put on this knife. And once I do that, it's going to be probably one of my top carried knives because I really want to get MagnaCut to use. I really want to see what it can do and see how well it performs. So that was the main reason I bought this knife. And I also want to check out this blade shape, which I have to say I am a big fan of this blade shape. It looks gorgeous. I love a Wharncliffe. I like the tip they have up there, which is a nice tip, not too dainty to where it can still do some work. And it looks very, very nice. So I'm a big fan of the blade shape and still a huge fan of the Deka. Can't say I'm loving these polymer scales, especially. I feel like if it would have had a full liner going all the way to the back, I think obviously would have added a little weight to the knife, which I will say this knife is stupid light, extremely light, lighter than the re-engineered Deka that I reviewed a while back. Stupid light, definitely more a little weight up towards the bladed area since there's basically nothing back here. But I think a little liner, a full liner in these scales would have went a long way and felt a lot better. But at the end of the day, $125 for a Hogue with MagnaCut is still a really good deal. Now, you may want to factor into the fact that you may want to replace the handles, which will obviously raise the overall price you have invested into the knife. But again, if you're in the hobby, that's kind of just one of the things we do to make a piece our own. And I'm looking forward to getting some new scales on this. Love the MagnaCut, love the price. Overall, it still feels good in hand. I just feel that handle flexing a little, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to be getting some scales, and hopefully I'll probably be looking at like carbon fiber. I'm hoping someone comes out with some carbon fiber scales for this. That would be so sweet. Even G10 would be okay, but yeah, carbon fiber or micarta. Probably carbon fiber though, because it's a lot stronger than the micarta. It won't wear quite the way micarta does. Or maybe even titanium as well, if we can find a company that does some good titanium scales for this. I'm going to be in the market for some new scales on this knife, but overall, I am happy with the purchase. This is the Hogue Deca with a Wharncliffe blade and CPM MagnaCut and polymer scales. Let me know what you guys think of that. Have you picked one up? Is it on your to-get list? What are your thoughts on the polymer scales? I'm not wowed with the polymer scales quite like I was in the K320. But nonetheless, at $125, I think it's a good deal overall. And ultimately, I think it is one that I'd recommend. But I'd probably also recommend a handle swap when that option becomes available. But nonetheless, that is it. The Hogue Deca, the latest and greatest Hogue Deca with MagnaCut. Let me know what you guys think. I really hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And until the next one, I'm out.